Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Robin, aka at Detroit Beastie, here with Team Rise or Fall to talk college football Saturday, which is either right now or it's the next day. I don't know. It's up for you to decide when you're watching the video. Saturday, October 9th. That's what we're looking to do here. Stick around, and I have some new stuff coming down the pipe here. So hang here and let's talk about it. Hello, and we are back. Once again, I'm Chris Robin, aka at Detroit Beastie, here with Team Rise or Fall to talk college football Saturday, which is October the 9th. So before we get into it, just want to say a few things, pay the bills and all that kind of stuff here. Make sure you go to Team Rise or Fall, join the Discord, like, subscribe, and you look at the graphic. It's $9.99 a week, which is only $1.42 a day. Enough said. Let's get into the college football slate because it's a big one. It's 14 games, which is kind of tame. For college football, there's so many games and so many players. I know a lot of folks, myself included, when you think of college football DFS, it's like mind blowing. It's confusing. You're like, what the heck do I do? Can't even imagine an NFL slate with 9 or 10 games. So you're telling me college football? We add on a few more games and we go from there. But again, as long as you're watching the videos, you're in the Discord here at Team Rise or Fall, you should be doing okay. And I want to shout out everybody in the college football Discord channel. We're always talking. They're always egging me on. Chris, can we get the video? And I say, yeah, here's my notes. And they're sharing lineups with each other. Not only just me in there, everybody's talking, and it's fantastic. So hi to everyone in the Discord college football channel. Let's get right into it. And look, I don't know if you can see this. I do this all the time, right? So I have four, 8, 9. So I have about 15 players I want to talk about, but I don't think I can get to all of them. I want to keep this video short and sweet because I don't know if anybody would hang here with me for 45 minutes or an hour as we're talking DFS and college football. I don't know. Maybe one day we'll try. After the video is over, if you see this, leave a comment on YouTube, or if you see this, leave a comment in the Discord, and maybe I'll set up some sort of poll. Would you be in favor of me doing like a full-blown hour-long video and digging into 20, 30 players, not only from an NFL standpoint but from a college football standpoint? And we have hockey right around the corner. Again, I digress. See, I get ahead of myself. I'm 14, 15 steps ahead, and it's not all good. Sometimes it does not work in my favor. All right, enough with the nonsense. Let's start with my first quarterback, Malik Cunningham. The Louisville, what are they? The Louisville Birds, something like that. The Louisville Birds head to the University of Virginia. Cunningham, he's the most consistent of the group. He's been finishing, with let's just 29.999 fantasy points or more per game. Let's just call it 30 points a game. He'd be guaranteed to get you, a ton of work and a ton of production at this price. And again, Malik, $11,500 on FanDuel. And on DraftKings, Malik Cunningham is $9,700. As I said, Cunningham and the Louisville Cardinals. I think it's not the Louisville Birds or the Peckers, whatever. Malik Cunningham, the Louisville Cardinals are taking on the University of Virginia. Moving down the list, I want to mention Casey Thompson once again, the Texas Longhorns, Hook'em Horns quarterback. If you remember correctly, he was in the video last week. Didn't go that crazy, but I'm going back to it again. As I said, Casey Thompson, $8,500 on FanDuel. On DraftKings, he looks to be $7,400. Now, from like an on the field or on paper matchup here, this game to me, Texas and Oklahoma, looks like one heck of a game, just shootout after shootout. And I want to point something else out here too. Over the last 4 contests, these two teams have combined on average 79.5 points per contest, combined over-under stuff. And so, I mean, I'm not that weirded out by that. I mean, the 63.5 point over-under here is fantastic. You could get a lot of folks that talk college football and they'll say, Texas at Oklahoma, if these two teams combine in their own right to almost 80 points a game, then why is the over-under so low? It's just a Vegas thing. They got to make money somehow. Pay no mind to it. Here, if you look at what Casey Thompson and the Longhorns have doing, the Boomer Sooners, they've surrendered almost 242 passing yards a game and almost almost 1.5 touchdowns passing per game. And I mean that their ADOT and all that analytic stuff. I won't bore you with that stuff, but you look to be like a heavy-handed approach from not only Casey Thompson and the Texas Longhorns, but Oklahoma too, if you want to go that route. Two other quarterbacks I want to mention really quick. Sam Howell, you know him, stud. Hopefully you'd like to think he's a top 5 pick this coming year. University North Carolina take on Florida State, and then even Max Duggan, TCU Horned Frogs quarterback. He's $10,200 on FanDuel. They're playing Texas Tech. Let's move down to the running backs really quick, if I may, if you don't mind me here. The notes are just, there's so much sometimes, and maybe if anybody that's watching this, how can I cut down on my note taking will never go away, but if you look at it here, I mean, just so many tabs and I get lost. So I'm not looking at the camera and I'm talking and we go from there. Regardless, the results speak for themselves. So notes will stay. Just need some more organizational techniques, if that makes any sense. So let's move on to the running backs. As I said, Tyler Algiere, the BYU Brigham Young, they're playing Boise State. Tyler is $9,500 on FanDuel, only $7,800 on DraftKings. Now, last week, that was his best game by far of the season, and they faced BYU. That is, they faced Pac-12 teams 3 games in a row. First group of the 5 games here, it's been crazy to me. In Algiere, he's averaged 32.25 fantasy points a game, including 5 rushing touchdowns. So again, he's got a great chance of redoing that whole box score this time around. And I'm telling you, the game flow should also work in his favor. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the 6-point spread here in terms of the BYU Brigham Young is not an issue with me to hear. So I'm telling you, they're going to be a really ground-heavy approach here for BYU. So get Tyler Algiere, I believe that's how you say his last name, $9,500 on FanDuel, only $7,800 on DraftKings. Moving down the list, Tyrion Evans, the Tennessee Volunteers running back. Tyrion Evans is $8,100 on FanDuel, only $6,900 on DraftKings. Now, normally this backfield, and I think I mentioned it in week 1 or 2 of the college football video, it's been kind of split between Evans and Jabari Smalls. But if I remember correctly, Smalls left last week due to some injury in his lower half. There's been no update from what I've seen so far. So if he sits, that is Jabari Smith, I'm going absolutely all in on Tyrion Evans here. As I said, Tennessee takes on South Carolina. Evans is $8,100 on FanDuel, only $6,900 on DraftKings. In passing, Chris Rodriguez, the University of Kentucky, is playing LSU. I had no idea until about an hour ago that Coach Orgeron in LSU, he's on the hot seat for his job. And I mean, it's crazy to me how fast-moving college sports goes. I mean, am I out of whack? Am I taking crazy pills? Didn't Orgeron just win a national championship? And it doesn't help when you lose all those flipping studs, Burrow and Jefferson and Chase. So, man, if you're an LSU fan, cut this guy some slack. Back to what I was saying. Chris Rodriguez, University of Kentucky's running back, $9,000 on FanDuel, only $6,800 on DraftKings. He's kind of like my sneaky under the radar move on DraftKings, given the price here. If we go down here, I'd love to mention Sharadrick Thompson, a Texas Tech running back, $6,900 on DraftKings. And let's stop at the last running back I want to mention here, Traylon Smith, the Arkansas Razorbacks running back. Arkansas plays Ole Miss, and by all intents and purposes, Ole Miss should have their way with them, especially after Arkansas really, screwed the pooch for me and anybody else who made that bet last week. For that, I apologize. I saw an opening, I took a swing and a miss, and that's okay. Some are home runs, some are singles, and sometimes you just strike out. So Arkansas, I'm going back to it. I need to get over the hump and get over my, not hatred, but I need to get over that sour taste in my mouth for Arkansas. So give me Traylon Smith, $6,800 on FanDuel, only $5,300 on DraftKings. Look, I know what you're going to say. Arkansas put up no points last week, and this kid had, I believe, 3 carries for 4 yards. Chris, what are we doing here? Look, if you know my content or you trust me to watch my videos, you know that, DFS, you take risks, and I'm telling you, this is educated guesses here, and I think Traylon Smith is going to be okay. In a game, figures to be a ton of scoring. As you can see, I'm reading from my notes on the computer here. Both teams, the 66.5 over-under line is here. I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. And again, I don't care who wins. I just want Arkansas to put up more than 0 points here, and I don't think that's going to be hard. So as long as Traylon Smith is getting the bulk of the carries, if you look back, let me off the top of my head, I believe last time he saw a ton of carries, it was like a 3 or 4 game span. He saw 22 carries, 17 carries, and then it trailed off to 12 carries. So I will absolutely take my chances here against an Ole Miss defense that has allowed 312 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns to opposing running backs the last 2 games. So Ole Miss, let me repeat that. They've given up 312 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns the last 2 games. So Traylon Smith, just to repeat, $6,800 on FanDuel, only $5,300 on DraftKings. And one sneaky move, Master Teague, the third, Ohio State's running back. They're playing Maryland. Should be a blowout. I mean, they're giving Ohio State, I think, like 37 points or something like that. Tells you all you need to know. On FanDuel, Master Teague, only $5,800. DraftKings, only $4,200. And that's just from a game script, kind of what I've made up in my head. Ohio State is going to be up big. Do they pour it on? I don't know, but I expect Master Teague to see a lot of run in the second half, and we'll see what we get here. In terms of the wide receivers, we'll keep it with that same game. Chris Olavee, Ohio State takes on Maryland, as I said, on FanDuel. Only $9,700. It's kind of a lot of money. DraftKings, $7,600. Now, the only move here is, I believe, in this game, where I am in Michigan, below me is Ohio State, and then you look to the East Coast, Maryland is right there. There might be some rain issues, some wind and some rain issues. So I will, get him in your lineups now and then check right before lock, 12 Eastern, noon time over there. But by all other purposes, he proved that he can get it done, and the target share that he receives is outstanding. So I would imagine that in overall, in contest, the ownership percentage might be a little bit suppressed given the weather issues. Don't let that deter you. Get in on it here. Moving down, another Texas Longhorn, Xavier Worthy. He was in the video last week. Xavier Worthy, as I said, Texas takes on Oklahoma. The Sooners. On FanDuel, Xavier is $7,600. On DraftKings, he's an even $5,000. And wow, he had a complete dud last week against TCU. The passing offense was just. And so what do you do when that happens? You keep it right there. You get back on it. And, there's 2 types of DFS players, right? There's people like, hopefully not you. If you're watching the video, you're pretty hip to be square and all that. So most people will say, they move quick. It's a turnstile. If a quarterback and a wide receiver stack didn't pop off for you, you move on to the next one, and you're constantly searching. You're constantly chasing points. That's a bad move. Go back to these guys, because in DFS formats, their ownership percentage is going to be low. So when they hit, be like, I stuck it out, and here we are. While those point chasing people are like, oh, you know what? I'll go back to Texas next week they'll have I'm getting way off track here. So just make sure you get Xavier Worthy here, and you stack him with, as I said, Casey Thompson. What did I say? Xavier Worthy, $7,600 on FanDuel, only $5,000 on DraftKings. Another one I want to mention, Billy Kemp, the University of Virginia. As I said, they go to Louisville. Kemp is $7,700 on FanDuel, only $6,500 on DraftKings, in a game where I think it could be I don't want to say a slugfest, but I think there could be some points to go around in this one, and it's going to be sneaky value. As I said, look to get Malik Cunningham in there from the opposite sideline, and then if you want to pivot in the same game, stack Billy Kemp there, $7,700 on FanDuel, only $6,500 on DraftKings. And one more, if I may, Wan'Dale Robinson, University of Kentucky, again with the Kentucky Wildcats, something like that. Kentucky plays LSU. On FanDuel, Wan'Dale, $8,400. On DraftKings, he's $7,300. So again, you can stack him with any number. Stack him with the running back, as I said, or actually one of my favorite stacks. We'll get into that now then. Sam Howell, North Carolina. Stack him with Kamari Morales. Kamari Morales is, I believe he's a wide receiver, and he's very cheap on FanDuel, only $5,600. We're going back to the Texas stack, Casey Thompson and Xavier Worthy. Texas playing Oklahoma, as I said. And my sneakiest stack of the college football day here, and I don't know, their ownership is going to be ridiculously low. I would say, I would say their quarterback, what's his name, Will Lewis, will be under 4 or 5% owned. Will Lewis, Chris Rodriguez, and Wan'Dale Robinson, all Kentucky players here. So I thank you for being here. If you ever need anything, you can DM me. You can find me on Team Rise or Fall, or you can find me on Twitter at Detroit Beastie. And before you go, just make sure you go to Team Rise or Fall, like, share, subscribe, and check out the premium services. Sign up for just one. It's $9.99 for 1 week, which is only $1.42 a day. I look forward to many more of these. Thank you for everything that you've done for me so far, all the likes, the shares, and the subscribes. I really appreciate it. And we'll meet again this time, sometime Sunday, with the Sunday Night Football video. Until then, I'll see you later.